Welcome back to Burning River Bushcraft. Today we're going to be looking at the Kingswell Telescopic Travel Fishing Rod Combo. This is my first telescopic rod and it is pretty slick. I'm really liking this thing. When this is collapsed, this is 22 inches long. So it's still pretty darn small. This will fit in carry-on luggage. If you have a smaller day pack, this one's probably not going to fit in there. But this rod, when it's extended, is 6 foot 9 inches. So it is a full-size rod once you get to the water. With a smaller pack, I usually am just attaching this to the outside of the pack. It rides along real nice. This does come with a protective rod sleeve, but I really haven't used it because when you have it in the sleeve, the reel won't fit on it. So I've been just using this protective tip that comes with it. Now the protective tip, you can see I've got this orange cord through here. So that orange cord goes through all the eyes and makes sure everything's aligned. And it protects the eyes from damage and the tip from damage in transit. Now, in addition to that, I've got tension on here right now, but if you were carrying this without the reel on for some reason, and you were just to carry it downhill or it was to get tipped, this thing is just under friction, so it would expand on you, and then there's a possibility of snagging the rod. So with the tip protector on here, this little band is kind of tightly in place. And even with no real tension, this is going to protect the tips, protect the eyes, and keep it from expanding. So if this is the kind of thing you like, go ahead and like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave me a comment in the comment box, and ring the bell to be notified of my latest videos. You can also find me on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok at Burning River Bushcraft. I also teach outdoor classes at Outdoorcore.com. So when I start to expand this rod, I've got eyes at all my junction points, but between the junction points, these middle eyes just kind of float. And I had never seen that before, and I thought that was a pretty great solution. Without these little floater intermediate eyes, I would definitely be short on some eyes, and that's just not as strong as that rod could be. But with these little floaters, they go down to a friction point, and now that's going to bridge the line and make the rod stronger. Now, when I'm assembling this, I've got index marks on the rod, little gold index marks. So when I align these gold lines, that is just telling me that all my eyes are in line. Here's the next set. Now you could just eyeball it and probably get it pretty close, but with these index lines on there, I know all my eyes are straight when I extend this rod and get ready to go fishing. So here's the rod fully extended, and this thing is big. This is 6 foot 9 inches total, so it's a heck of a size rod, and it's a pretty heavy action. They have two different models, and this is their flagship. This is their bigger of the two. And for a lot of the small waters like I've got behind me here, this is probably a little too much rod, but it's nice to have this, especially when I travel. So if I get to head back to Minnesota, or if I head to Florida and get into some bigger fish, this rod is going to handle any size fish that I'm going to be targeting. So I mentioned I like travel rods, and this is the first telescopic rod I had, and I am really impressed with the speed that you can get this rod out and start fishing. With the segmented rods, like I've traditionally had, it takes a little bit of time to put everything together. So a lot of times we're just sight fishing. If you see a really good looking area, you're actually seeing fish, you have to stop and assemble your rod. And a lot of times, to be honest, I've just passed fishing locations just because I wasn't quite ready. So with this, even if you're not ready, you can go from packed to casting in like a minute. This thing is really fast and really effective for the type of fishing that I like to do. Just opportunistic fishing when you're passing a good spot. If it's inconvenient, you're probably not going to do it. Another huge advantage to a telescopic rod as opposed to a segmented rod is I always worry about just losing a section of my rod. A lot of times you'll see my rod and I've got orange tape on my travel rod. And what that's for, just in case I lay a section of it down, I see it. With this, there is no danger of losing one specific section and possibly ruining an entire trip. This is definitely a great rod for travel. With this size rod, this is going to get me into any fish that I'm after. And when I'm in smaller water like this and the fish aren't quite as big, it's still going to put food on the table. So these guys are little and they're too small for this rod size. But if I was on a trip and trying to live off the land, you know, a couple of these will fill the skillet. So the rod length is great, lets me cast almost all the way across this pond. And the reel is super smooth. Really comfortable rod to handle. And these are smaller fish, and I can feel every little thing they're doing and every time they're hitting it. So life's short. Go ahead and carry a travel rod so you can just stop and fish whenever you find some decent water in a little bit of time. This Kingswell telescopic rod is convenient to use. It fishes as well as any rod I've got. The reel is super smooth. I love it. Definitely check them out. Till next time, this has been Jamie Buggs with Burning River Bushcraft. See you soon. There we go. All right, enough screwing around. I got some fishing to do. See you next time. So you made it this far in the video. How do you enter in this contest to win a rod just like this? Well, it's real simple. Just go ahead and subscribe to the channel and leave me a comment. Now there are multiple chances to win this and you can enter all of them. So I am on YouTube, YouTube Shorts, I'm on TikTok, I'm on Instagram, and I'm on Facebook. So whichever of those platforms you're on, just head over to Burning River Bushcraft, go ahead and like the video, subscribe, and then leave me a comment. That's it. You should definitely head over to Kingswell Instagram and Facebook page as well, since they're going to be the ones sending you the rod. I'm going to be running this contest till August 31st. So September 1st, I'm going to select the winner. I'm going to make an announcement, and then I'm going to send that information to Kingswell, and then the rod will be coming directly from them.